traditional, natural, and integrative medicine. Listen for a chance to win daily prizes and follow Let's Talk Nutrition on Facebook and Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition or on Twitter at LTN Radio. It's time for some inspiration. Tune in to get fit and healthy. It's time to talk about nutrition. Nutrition for your body, your mind, your spirit. It's time to talk about proper exercise, stress relief, eating well, and supplementation to help. Get ready to take charge of your health because your health is your wealth and the wealth of those who care about and love you. It's time for Let's Talk Nutrition with Dr. Michael Garko. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the 2019 edition of Let's Talk Nutrition. Thanks for stopping by. Great to be with you. Thanks. We're grateful. Lots of faults, but ingratitude is not one of them. Got a lot of things to work on, but we're grateful. We are. I was thinking about that last evening, how grateful I am to be able to do this show every day. Come in here Monday through Friday. We've been doing this a long time. And I just can't believe how much time has passed. I was thinking about, I had mentioned that yesterday that Stephen has been with, we've been together doing the show for 14 years. And I was thinking about it last night. I said, my God, it's a long time. And I feel as much gratitude, more gratitude today than ever before, because I've come to understand the kind of impact we can have and have had, at least according to reports that we get, the feedback and response from radio stations, listeners, viewers, sponsors, whomever. And it takes a monumental effort to put a show like this on the air. There's much that goes on behind the scenes, believe you me. And come a long way. And all of it, really is, when I say it's always about the audience, that is a long-standing principle in the world of communication and rhetoric. That principle is, Aristotle and other rhetoricians a couple of thousand years ago, it was about the audience. You know what? It hasn't changed. It's still about the audience. And that's why we get up every day, work at this show, and to keep it fresh. And for 2019, we have a lot of things that we want to do to enhance the production value of the show, to enhance the content value and the content of the show, and, the things that we want to talk about. You're going to hear me talk about a lot this coming year about functional medicine.
What is that, by the way?
Exactly. What is that, by the way? We're going to explore that. I was asked to put together a bunch of promos for the show, and I was working on it yesterday. One of them is Get Functional in 2019 with Functional Medicine. And it's an alternative way to address health and wellness. It is not intended to replace traditional medicine or allopathic medicine, and I'm not a fan of doing that. Allopathic medicine, traditional medicine, as you know it, has been a game changer. With all the criticism that's pointed at it all the time, and people throwing doctors under the bus left and right, it has changed the landscape of health in our country and throughout the world. Is it perfect? No. Can it be supported by other paradigms? Yes. And you're going to hear me more this year talk about these other paradigms: naturopathic medicine, functional medicine. Right? I'm going to get into that more. And so that you understand that there are choices to make. That's, in its heart and soul, the show is intended not to inform you. Not really. It's intended to persuade you. Information gets dispensed along the way to persuade you to do what? To at least consider making different choices with your diet and your lifestyle, your way of being in the world, and that ultimately to persuade you to make that change. You have to make the decision ultimately, though. That's true. But it's about persuading people at least to open up their mind. It's all about persuasion around here, always. Trying to influence. I get persuaded by my own effort to persuade you. I start doing research on a topic, and I start off with one point of view, and I end up in a totally different place. Because I see the data, I look at the studies. This is an evidence-based show, and I'm going to write a promo about that.
Well, the drink that you're drinking, the aloe.
This one.
Yes.
That. Yeah, what that is that's aloe vera, and there's about 4 or 5 capsules of natural factors TheraCuramin in there. Also, a packet, a multiple vitamin and mineral packet. It's in here. So the aloe and the TheraCuramin serve as anti-inflammatory elements, and then the multiple is just to try to keep my nutritional status up. I drink one of these. I go through a bottle of aloe every 2 days. I'm a big fan. It has made a big difference in my life. When I went through chemotherapy and radiation, the damage to your body is remarkable. It's been 2 years, and it's taken me, and I'm still not 100%.
But you studied that for like a month and a half. I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
So little things like that comes out, this idea, what I just shared with you, what Gary asked me about, is something that would be done in functional medicine, right? So you're going to hear more about that in 2019, along with other paradigms, medical paradigms. We have to understand that throughout the world, people have been trying to figure out how to take care of themselves long before there was medical science. And what is so astounding is that people in different cultures that were communicating figured out things that were very it was almost like, is it an accident? I guess so. It's probably coincidence. But people in different cultures not communicating with one another figured out ways, similar ways, sometimes in very different ways too, how to deal with health, how to deal with disease, how to make their life better. Human beings, I mean, when on the good dimension of humans, and that good dimension, that good part of us, boy, we can be very instinctive, intuitive, insightful, creative. And then, of course, there's the dark side. But I am astounded how throughout these thousands of years, cultures have figured out how people need to take care of themselves. I'll talk a lot about that again this year. I do all the time. I'm all in on the research, clinical trials, double-blind, placebo-controlled trials. Sign me up all day. I'm there with you. But I do not dismiss what people have learned, what people have done and accomplished with their own imagination, intuition, and instinct and necessity to figure out how they need to take care of themselves. You can call it goes under different names. I call it traditional use data, if you will. So evidence-based drawing. I try to draw from every place I can to inform the assertions made on this show, so that you can have confidence in making the choices that I'm trying to encourage you to do, or at least consider. So if you're new to the show, that's sort of just a sketch of its intention. So much to report on today. The lines are wide open today. You can call, talk about anything you want. No guests today. We're 2 hours with you, and whatever you want to talk about. You can always do that anyway, even when there's a guest. And people do that. You can call off topic. I don't care. As I say, if you can take the time to listen and watch, I can take the time to take your call and answer your questions if I can. We're all here to learn, and it's 2019. It's January the 4th, by the way. We'll be right back.
Are you?
Women who are pregnant or planning to have a child have specific nutritional needs. Maintaining optimal nutritional intake is important for mother and baby. Body Vigor's Preferred Prenatal can help mother and baby receive the appropriate building blocks for growth, development, and healthy function. The Preferred Prenatal formula provides essential vitamins and minerals, along with added support ingredients such as folic acid and DHA. Preferred Prenatal also incorporates a bonus herbal blend to help the mom-to-be with the uncomfortable side effects of pregnancy, like nausea, vomiting, mood swings, and uterine health. Support a healthy pregnancy for you and your baby with Preferred Prenatal, exclusively on Amazon.com.
This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. The show will return shortly. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. Following commercial messages, the show will return shortly. LTN streams live Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, and the LTN website. The show also airs on radio coast to coast, including Hawaii, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern. Back to that wide shot, Gary. We have a new camera angle. It gives you a full view. That green screen that you see behind me, we're going to clean that up a little bit. It's a little rough and ready looking screen, but it's a green screen, and you need that to put images in order to have images when you're on a video or when you have camera shooting you. You need to have that green screen to put the images on. So we're going to put something more professional up there. That'll do for now. But that's inside, and on the other side of that glass is Stephen. And he's hidden back there. Now you can see his hat a little bit. He doesn't like to be on camera much. So there he is. He's waving. That's his daughter. Hi, honey. How you doing? Happy New Year, sweetheart. I remember when she was born. That's how long we've been doing this show. 877. Oh, I'll let Gary tell you how you can connect and get to talk to us, and we can talk to you. I love talking to you.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK. Don't forget, Dr. Garko's personal email is drgarko, one word, at Let's Talk Nutrition. Follow us on Facebook at Let's Talk Nutrition. Like us and share us with your friends. You can also go to Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition and go join our YouTube page where we have been viewed over 57,000 times now, Doc, at Let's Talk Nutrition on YouTube. And that's growing.
It's good. I love it. I like it. I like it when we connect like that. And again, there are no guests today, so you call in. Whatever's on your mind. You may have questions. Yesterday, I reported, or you may have comments. I reported on a couple of things I might revisit today. That one report by the Royal Society for Public Health talking about ageism, discrimination against the elderly, and how attitudes in society really have an impact on the health, wellness, and well-being of the elderly. And that these attitudes about these negative, these pejorative attitudes, these pejorative metaphors, these pejorative comments that people have relative to the elderly begin early in life. In this report, and I'm holding it up, in this report by the Royal Society for Public Health in Britain, they say it begins as early as age 6. I might revisit that today. We have more than a few people on the show that are more than 21 years of age that listen and watch this show. And they know exactly what I'm talking about. And, of course, if you're a regular listener to your show, you know my position on the way the elderly are treated in our culture, in our society, in our country. It's terrible. We have a lot of work to do there. And I don't know why we do this, but other cultures don't. And I can list for you at least a half a dozen. They do better in Korea with their elderly, in Okinawa, throughout Asia. Some of the primitive cultures, ancient cultures, that they treat their elderly better, for heaven's sake. What is the matter with us? We're all in this together. So I may revisit that. But there are some other stories trending, some fresh headlines. Want to change your life in 2019? It's going to take more than a gym membership. 100%. I agree. I'll tell you what are the things you need to do really to practice better health, wellness, to achieve well-being.
I went to Cherokee, North Carolina over the break, and I went to a movie theater on the reservation. And at the front, where they have handicap parking, to the left of the handicap parking, right up front, is tribal elders. It says tribal elders only.
Really?
Yeah. And it was the neatest thing.
And what was that for? The
tribal elders of
parking to
park in Cherokee. So when you go to Cherokee, a lot of the elders have their own separate parking. And the thing is, in tribal communities, elders are considered the wisdom keepers and are held in the highest regard. The Native American elders comprise mostly economically disadvantaged group in the nation and are increasing risk of financial exploitation and neglect.
Absolutely. I mentioned yesterday that there are more than over 500 Native American groups in the United States. And I might revisit that today. But other headlines too. One story that's trending I want to definitely talk about: Sicker, Fatter, Poorer. That's the title of a new book. And it's about our environment and the chemicals in the environment that are killing people, that are disrupting hormones and causing people to be sick, creating all kinds of aberrant side effects. I'm going to talk about that. Sicker, Fatter, Poorer is the title of the book. We'll mention that. Another story that's trending, it relates sort of to the first story I mentioned about want to change your life in 2019. It's going to take more than a gym membership. Also, if you put exercise on your New Year's resolutions list because you're wanting to lose weight, you might want to rethink that. Exercise is not a good predictor for weight loss. Exercise is a predictor for many health benefits. Losing weight, exercise by itself, not so much. And I'll explain.
Don't be stressed out or anxious. Take Hempanol, the only raw CO2 hemp extract available. It's 100% organic with wild oreganol P73 extract. You might have heard about CBD, but there's no comparison. Hempanol has the power and potency you need.
Are your joints feeling out of date and stiff? Is that old sports injury flaring up? Is your body aching from the daily wear and tear at work? Body Vigor's Joint Ready keeps you at the ready for any joint pain that gets out of line. Unfortunately, as we age, joint pain becomes more common. Body Vigor's Joint Ready can help provide relief so you can continue to go about your day. Our formula contains sulfated forms of glucosamine and chondroitin. Studies show that these sulfated forms are more effective than regular glucosamine bound to hydrochloride. Joint Ready promotes a healthy inflammatory response, facilitates cartilage synthesis, and provides additional antioxidants. Keep your joints at the ready with Body Vigor's Joint Ready, exclusively on Amazon.com.
Clear Lungs is a unique Chinese herbal formula designed to help keep airways free of phlegm and mucus while supporting clear lungs and free breathing. Clear Lungs has been the #1 natural lung health product in the United States since 1998.
So Clear Lungs is our staple product. It is the #1 natural lung decongestant in the U.S., and it has been for over 10 years. And so we know that we have a really key product, and we know that we have a product that essentially works. And so we know that obviously, if somebody wants to take our product, we're really big about 100% money-back guarantee and satisfaction of that product.
If a company or somebody doesn't know who we are, then we tell them we're the makers of Clear Lungs, and they, more often than not, everybody says, "Oh yeah, we know who you are," and a majority of health food stores carry that product.
This formula is used kind of across the world as being a really good lung decongestant and a lung supporter. We have 4 different formulas. We started with the original formula, which is, we like to call it the red label, Clear Lungs Regular or Clear Lungs Original Strength. And the extra strength has the same formulation as the red label, but it's in a slightly larger capsule, so you're going to find a little bit more herbs in there. And there's going to be homeopathics added to that. So you get a quick healing response from those. And the Clear Lungs Blue Label is only meant to be taken for short durations at a time, no longer than 6 months. If you're going to take it longer than that, then you could switch over to the red label.
Then we make a liquid. Liquid, of course, is for people that can't swallow pills. and 2 for children. That liquid also has the homeopathics added to it. And then the last in the family is our newest, which is the Clear Lungs Chest Rub.
And the chest rub is designed for all ages. So if you tend to have a lot of chest congestion, or if you tend to have blocked up sinuses, this is really good formulation for that. So another question that we also get asked a lot is, well, can I take the formulas together? Can I take the liquid and the capsules? Absolutely. Can I do the chest rub in the liquid or the chest rub in the capsules? Absolutely, no problem. You could intertwine them if necessary. Breathing, it's just a natural part of life. And so obviously we can't see toxins in the air. So we know that obviously through, if you live in a heavily polluted environment, or if you're around chemical factories, or if you're around secondhand smoke a lot, anything that we represent as being a burden to the lungs, we know that Clear Lungs is there for that individual.
We make it safe, we make it effective, we do the testing on it, so it's brought into 13 herbs that are perfectly balanced.
For more information, please visit us at rcherbals.com.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition 2019. Thanks for tuning in today. 877-897-8255. No guest today. And a number of stories trending. Let me get to a couple of these. They do have relevance for this new year. A lot of people, I was looking at some New Year's resolution surveys, and without exception, everyone had lose weight on it, in some ranking, usually toward the top, lose weight, exercise more, eat healthier, different phrases, eat healthier, cleaner, change the diet, something to do with a day-to-day diet was on there on these different surveys. Exercise always appears. Exercise more, go to the gym more, get a gym membership. Well, if people put exercise on their New Year's resolution list to lose weight, they may want to rethink that. It's a myth that exercising is a principal factor in helping people lose weight. It's not. This idea, I don't know where it came from, but can it help? Yes. The best predictor, one of the best predictors for weight loss is diet. I mean, you don't need to be a nutritionist to figure this out. And top New Year's resolutions every January, in the top 10, lose weight, exercise more, change the diet. And if you're looking to be successful, in terms of losing weight, it turns out, as I've said a million times on this show, that diet is focus on the diet. That if you want to lose weight, that's where you need to put your mind and your efforts. It's more important, far more important than exercise. Exercise is important for many things, but for losing weight, I'm not the only one who has said this. Nutritionist Lisa Dreyer, she said, quote, it couldn't be more true. She said, basically, what I always tell people is what you omit from your diet is so much more important than how much you exercise, close quote. She's 100% right. Think of it this way. All the calories, food equals, this is simple. Food equals calories. Calories equal energy. Okay? And when you eat food, you use those calories, they get metabolized, and you create ATP, adenosine triphosphate. You need energy. If you eat more calories than you utilize, the body has this, we naturally selected through evolution to store those extra calories as what? Not higher IQs, but I wish, but as fat.
I'd be a genius.
You would. You'd be the Einstein. We're making fun of you now. We shouldn't do that. This is, according to Alexel Kravitz, she's an investigator of the National Institute of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases, has the same idea. I mean, there's so many experts out there that, I mean, this is not necessarily breaking news, but exercise is not the key. Does that mean you shouldn't exercise? No. It just means that it's better to focus on the diet. There are three main components, elements, facets, if you want, whatever you want to call them, to energy expenditure. Your basal metabolic rate, what is that? That's just the amount of energy it takes for your body to keep running. You know, for your heart to work, your lungs to work, your brain to work, and other things in your body that you would hope will continue to work. Then you have breaking down food. That's referred to diet-induced thermogenesis. And that's the thermo effect of food. And that creates heat. When you burn calories, you create heat. That's why you sweat. When you're exercising, you're burning calories. And that creates heat. And the body wants to maintain body temperature, homeostatic body temperature, you sweat. It's uncomplicated. The third way is energy expenditure is physical activity itself. But so it's basal metabolic rate, breaking down food, and then physical activity. Those are the three main ways we expend energy. And if you're consuming far more calories than any of those three functions or components, or all three together, will account for, you're going to gain weight. Leading a sedentary life is a risk factor for weight gain. This is the irony. Not exercising contributes to weight gain, but exercising is not a good predictor to lose that weight that you gained because you didn't exercise and ate too much. It's not just being sedentary by itself. It's that you're being sedentary and you're eating too much food for the amount of sedentary time in your life. If you were sedentary and didn't eat much, you would probably not gain as much weight. But that's the paradox. Being sedentary is a risk factor for weight gain, but exercise by itself is not a good predictor for weight loss. I never quite put it together that way on the show before. But that what I just said to you is an evidence-based statement. I didn't make that up. That's science. So, it's calories in, you know that old saw, calories in, calories out. 60 to 80% of your energy is used for your basal metabolic rate. That's just to keep all the systems of your body working. 10% of your calories is used to digest food. 10 to 30% of the calories that you consume is for physical activity. Make sense? Should you take exercise off your New Year's resolution list? Absolutely not. But if you're using it, if you think you can continue to eat in an unhealthy way, eating junk, and just because you got a gym membership, you're going to lose weight, you're going to be sorely disappointed. I see it all the time in the gym. There's people in there I see every day. And every year they get bigger and bigger. Not muscles, fat. They're not controlling their diet.
Feel
Please check your local listings. We'll be right back. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. The show will return shortly. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. The show will return shortly. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. Following commercial messages, the show will return shortly. LTN streams live Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, and the LTN website. The show also airs on radio coast to coast, including Hawaii, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern. Please check your local listings. We'll be right back. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. The show will return shortly. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. The show will return shortly. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. Following commercial messages, the show will return shortly. LTN streams live Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, and the LTN website. The show also airs on radio coast to coast, including Hawaii, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern. Please check your local listings. We'll be right back. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. The show will return shortly. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. The show will return shortly. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. Following commercial messages, the show will return shortly. LTN streams live Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook. The paradox. Leading a sedentary life, not exercising, will contribute to weight gain. But if you try to lose that weight with exercise, the very thing that contributed to it won't help you so much. Welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. It's diet. And you'll hear me in 2019 talk more and more about plant-based diet and the ketogenic diet. I think the ketogenic diet has good therapeutic, clinical importance and practicality. So you're going to hear me talk in 2019 about ketogenic. Now, like with any good thing, it gets contaminated with silliness. And sometimes just stupidity. And people start taking a good idea and just turning it into something that's not useful. I'll give you the breakdown on ketogenic throughout 2019. You're going to hear more and more about it. We have some new sponsors for 2019, too. Reviva Labs. I've wanted a cosmetic company to be a sponsor of the show for a long time. They were on the show many years ago. I'm going to just when I tell you the truth as I know it. I don't say things just to say them. That company, the products that they make at the price point at which they sell those products is one of the best. And if you will come to my house right now, I can show you there's at least 15 SKUs. 15 different products from Reviva Labs in my bathroom, and I use those products. The skincare products, facial products. I do. Gary will tell you. You'll see him. I do this show without. One of their commercials, very well produced. I'm just telling you, I know how much people spend on cosmetics. My God, you need a second job to pay for some of these high-line cosmetic products. Reviva Labs, big fan. You're going to hear more about them. Ridgecrest Herbals is another new sponsor of the show. You're gonna hear more about them too. Good company, good people. So we're always trying to improve. All right. Sicker, fatter, poorer. That's a title of a new book. You hear me talk about the world that we have turned, this planet that we have turned into, I can use a bunch of metaphors here. A sewer, a dump, a toilet, a place that's just contaminated. This new book, it's a toxic world. It is a toxic world that we live in. And if you think that I'm just making that up, I'm just trying to be hyperbolic, I am not. And people are getting sick from these chemicals in the environment that they're not even aware that they're carrying around a toxic load of chemicals that don't belong in their body. Me included. And even if you try to avoid them, it's almost impossible. This new book, Sicker, Fatter, Poorer, starts with, and I'm giving credit now to CBS News because they were reporting on it, an anonymous comparison of what children in the New York City playground in the 1960s looked like compared to children today. And they said it's not, and that's how they opened up the article. It said it's not great for kids. What were they getting at? There's a fellow by the name of Dr. Leonardo Trasandi. He's a children's environmental health expert. The book highlights the potential harmful effects of thousands of toxic chemicals in our food, in the environment, in your house, in your car, in your personal, speaking of personal care products, cosmetics, in your personal care products, that can contribute to what? Hormone imbalance, obesity, diabetes, brain dysfunction and disorders, fertility problems, abnormal development among boys and girls. Boys, I don't want to get too graphic here, their genitalia being with these hormones, these little boys with deformed genitalia because of these xenoestrogens, they're called. What are we doing? Dr. Leonardo Trasandi is his name. Dr. Trasandi attributes, CBS said, a lot of these negative effects to 4 categories of what they call hormone-disrupting chemicals. Pesticides that are pesticides that are found in agricultural use. Phthalates, which you will find in personal care products and food packaging. Bisphenol A, BPA, which is used in aluminum can linings and plastics, and brominated flame retardants. My God, they have found flame retardants in mother's breast milk. And these flame retardants are used in furniture, electronics, and even in your mattress. Now, the chemicals were never intended to be harmful. Nobody had some insidious intention, say, well, we're going to develop these chemicals, we're going to put them in the products and hope the people get sick. That wasn't what happened. But we have been careless and reckless in the manufacturing and the making and the use of these chemicals and introducing them into the world, into our lives, and onto this planet. This book it's a must-read. It's a must-read. Sicker, Fatter, Poorer. We come back in the second hour, I'll tell you more about it. These hormone-disrupting chemicals, they're called, they have xenoestrogens. I'll talk more about it. I've talked about it in the past. Probably in 2019, you're going to hear more about it, and you're going to want me to be quiet about it. I can't. I feel a real responsibility to make sure that this message gets at least communicated on this show. Sicker, Fatter, Poorer. And our children, it's everybody. Children, nobody's immune, man. Nobody is immune. We'll talk about that a little bit more. We'll talk about how to make meaningful change in 2019 to your life in terms of your health, your wellness, your well-being. I'll get into that and whatever else you want to talk about. Let's Talk Nutrition 2019, being optimistic and moving forward. Think forward.
Clear Lungs is a unique Chinese herbal formula designed to help keep airways free of phlegm and mucus while supporting clear lungs and free breathing. Clear Lungs has been the #1 natural lung health product in the United States since 1998.
So Clear Lungs is our staple product. It is the #1 natural lung decongestant in the US, and it has been for over 10 years. And so we know that we have a really key product, and we know that we have a product that essentially works. And so we know that obviously if somebody wants to take our product, we're really big about 100% money back guarantee and satisfaction of that product.
If a company or somebody doesn't know who we are, then we tell them we're the makers of Clear Lungs, and they, more often than not, everybody says, oh yeah, we know who you are. And a majority of health food stores carry that product.
This formula is used kind of across the world as being a really good lung decongestant and a lung supporter. We have 4 different formulas. We started with the original formula, which is, we like to call it the red label, Clear Lungs Regular or Clear Lungs Original Strength. And the extra strength has the same formulation as the red label, but it's in a slightly larger capsule, so you're going to find a little bit more herbs in there, and there's going to be homeopathics added to that. So you get a quick healing response from those. And the Clear Lungs Blue Label is only meant to be taken for short durations at a time, no longer than 6 months. If you're going to take it longer than that, then you could switch over to the red label.
Then we make a liquid. Liquid, of course, is for 1, people that can't swallow pills, and 2, for children. That liquid also has the homeopathics added to it. And then the last in the family is our newest, which is the Clear Lungs Chest Rub.
And the chest rub is designed for all ages. So if you tend to have a lot of chest congestion, or if you tend to have blocked up sinuses, this is really good formulation for that. So another question that we also get asked a lot is, well, can I take the formulas together? Can I take the liquid and the capsules? Absolutely. Can I do the chest rub and the liquid, or the chest rub and the capsules? Absolutely, no problem. You could intertwine them if necessary. Breathing, it's just a natural part of life. And so obviously we can't see toxins in the air. So we know that obviously through, if you live in a heavily polluted environment, or if you're around chemical factories, or if you're around secondhand smoke a lot, anything that we represent as being a burden to the lungs, we know that Clear Lungs is there for that individual.
We make it safe, we make it effective, we do the testing on it, so it's brought into 13 herbs that are perfectly balanced.
For more information, please visit us at rcherbals.com.
And welcome to the 2019 edition, of Let's Talk Nutrition. Thanks for tuning us in, whether you're listening or watching the show, and thanks to all the affiliates that air the show throughout the United States, coast to coast, from Ohio to Oregon. Yeah, we do it. It's good stuff. And we keep adding. We have a full-time person that works on affiliate development, and a lot of people involved in the show. It's not just me. You know, I'm just trying to get along here, produce and host it, and then all the other hard stuff I leave to everybody else. No, I'm just kidding. Get Gary, Steven, and others. We got a marketing department. We got an IT department. We got a syndicator. We don't have a parish priest or a rabbi, though, or a mullah. Maybe we should to redeem ourselves. I'm glad you're here, and I hope you're having a good start to 2019. Today is January 4th. We're only 4 days in. It's early yet. So, a lot of stories trending today. Some of them are very serious. And we do this too with some levity. You have to, otherwise, death, dying, disease. We're going to have, in death. We're going to get depressed. We can't do that all day long here. That's no fun.
No, it's not.
Health doesn't have to be, some tragic Greek drama.
Why do people believe that?
Because people typically talk about health a lot when they're sick, right?
Right.
And that dominates the narrative. Yeah, it's interesting. What do we do? What's one of the first things you do? What's one of the first things that you say when you see somebody or you meet them or whatever, and you say, what do you say? How are you doing? How are you? Well, people typically mean, that can mean a lot of things. How are you in your life, your health, your relationship? And people say, I'm okay. And most of the time, they're not. But we say, okay, how are you doing? I'm okay. But it's interesting about health that we tend to talk about it a lot when we're sick and get diagnosed with some tough situation. But it doesn't have to be that way. We can be very optimistic about this, and we're going to make the best effort to do that. You want to connect to this show, it's not that hard. Here's how you do it.
You can reach us at 877-897-8255. That's 877-897-TALK. You can also go on Facebook at Let's Talk Nutrition. Like us, share us, send a message at Let's Talk Nutrition on Facebook and on Instagram at Let's Talk Nutrition. Plus our YouTube channel. Remember, subscribe to that YouTube channel at Let's Talk Nutrition on YouTube. You can watch us on Roku, right?
Explain me. What is Roku, and what are we doing on there anyway?
Okay, Roku is most new TVs, smart TVs come with Roku. Okay, it's a program on there.
I have it.
Okay, and on Roku has the YouTube channel now.
Okay.
So you go to YouTube on your Roku device, and you put Let's Talk Nutrition in, and you can watch us live.
So Roku is what?
Roku is a streaming platform. It would be like a Netflix or a Hulu.
So does Roku connect you to YouTube? What else does it connect you to?
It can connect you to the iHeartMedia or the iHeartRadio app, Pandora. It depends on what you load on there. You can load a lot of apps on there too.
Okay, I see. All right, so we're on Roku.
Yep.
And everything is archived. If you go to letstalknutrition.com, there's a link called Show Schedule, and there is the audio. Those are MP3 files, Gary?
Yes.
And you can download those. A lot of people do. And you can listen to the show at some later time. If you want to watch the show, there are a few examples on the homepage. Then there's a link that'll take you to YouTube page, and you can find the rest of them there with the date. No title. If you want to know what the title for that date is, go back to Let's Talk Nutrition, click on show schedule again, if you want, and you'll see the date, the time, the title for that show. And we found something out. When we didn't put the titles on the shows on YouTube, we got more people to watch them.
Yep.
Interesting. All right. So much to tell you. I don't even know where to begin. I'm going to pick up where I left off a moment ago. There's a new book out, Sicker, Fatter, Poorer. And Dr. Leonardo Trasandi is the author. And what the book focuses on are the harmful effects of these thousands of toxic chemicals that have made their way into the food chain, into the environment, into your household and personal care products that are being attributed to obesity, diabetes, brain disorders, fertility problems, developmental problems in children, creating all sorts of havoc. I've seen articles talking about cancer-causing chemicals out there. They are hormone disruptors. These pesticides that are used in agriculture, phthalates, which are used in personal care products and food packaging, bisphenol A, BPA, you'll find that in aluminum can linings and plastic products. Brominated flame retardants, they put that chemical in furniture, mattresses, electronics. These chemicals are everywhere. There's no escaping. And it's not as if they just stay in the environment in which they're located. No, they don't. We come in contact with them and they get into our body. Hormones are molecules they are signaling and communication molecules. And hormone disruptors are chemicals that do what? They scramble the signal, if you will, and they attribute to disease. There are more than 1,000 that have been identified of these chemicals called hormone disruptors, xenoestrogens, sometimes called that. Let me quote what Dr. Trasandi said. Quote, they, meaning these chemicals, these hormone disruptors, scramble hormone signals and shift our diet and how it's transformed in our body into fat as opposed into muscle or other categories. He went on to say, quote, the reality here is that there are safe and simple steps we can take to limit those exposures, which may be easier to accomplish, he said, as opposed to changing diet and physical activity, which can be more fundamentally difficult. He's right. Dr. Trasandi recommends reducing your exposure to bisphenol A, or the bisphenols. How? Avoid canned foods altogether. Well, some people can't. And then look at the number located at the bottom of plastic containers. If the number on the container is a 3, 6, or a 7, that container is not safe. Look for a 3, a 6, or a 7 on the plastic container. This book is probably a must-read. Sicker, Fatter, Poorer. It's how do you limit exposure? Avoid canned foods. Never microwave in plastic. Open windows in your house for circulation. Don't leave your plastic water bottles in the hot car and then go out and drink the water. The chemicals, the bisphenol A, will leach out of the plastic into the water. You drink it, and you get it into your body. This is a good book, a very practical book. A little disturbing, but I'd rather be mad with the truth than sane with lies.
As a family-owned company,
Welcome back to Let's Talk Nutrition. Here we are with you, and glad to be here with you. Thanks for tuning in today. Call the show if you have a question or comment. Maybe you have something about your New Year's resolution you'd like to explore. You can talk about that. There was an interesting piece, again, that a book, Sicker, Fatter, Poorer. Dr. Leonardo Tresandi is the author. You might want to give that some consideration. Want to give attribution to CBS News. I was working off a story that they had about the book. This New Year's resolution of losing weight, what people will say is that to themselves, well, I want to lose weight, so I need to cut back on sugar. So I'm going to stop using sugar. I'm going to use artificial sweeteners. And there are any number of them out there, right? You got aspartame. I mean, you heard my take on this a couple of weeks ago, right before I went on holiday, about artificial sweeteners. I am not a fan. And there was a story that appeared in Health Day, and the writer was Steven Reinberg. And Mr. Reinberg said, if you think a switch from sugar to calorie-free sweetener might help you get healthier and shed pounds, he said, think again. 100% I agree with him. You better think hard and long about it again. There is more than a few studies. We're talking about years, scores, not hundreds of studies, to show that there is weak evidence that no calorie or no cal sweeteners might be beneficial. The evidence is weak. This is according to German researchers who did a meta-analysis of data derived from 56 studies that were constituted of adults and children. They looked at a number of health outcomes, such as weight, blood sugar, cancer, heart disease, kidney disease, mood and behavior, psychological kinds, emotional disorders. A Dr. Jörg Merpol of the University of Freiburg said most health outcomes do not seem to have differences between the non-sugar sweetener exposed and unexposed groups. Not very helpful, those artificial sweeteners. And it's controversial. The FDA has approved the use of aspartame. They have given their, seal of approval. That's fine. That's well and good. Good for them. Not good for you. That's my professional opinion. I would avoid the use of these artificial sweeteners. I won't get into the nuts and bolts of that argument today. I already have. You'll find it archived on our website. But I am just telling you, I had one professor in my pathology of disease class who went off on artificial sweeteners. I mean, he went on a rant that lasted an entire lecture. Darn near, pardon me. And just literally begged the class not to use them. And it was an evidence-based argument. Now, there are people that disagree. There are people out there that will say, there's nothing wrong with the aspartame. It's not going to kill you. It's not, any of these other artificial sweeteners and the chemicals that constitute them. I'm not persuaded. When I see evidence where you have evidence on both sides, first thing you got to do is you got to look at the quality of the evidence on both sides. What were the nature of the studies? What were the quality of the studies that are constituting the argument on either side of some issue? Then you have to look at how much. Is there more data to one side of the argument than the other? So it's quantity and quality. And let's say it's even Steven. When it's even Steven, you know what I do? I get real cautious and say, okay, if you're not sure, then why would I take the risk? If you're not sure, if there's enough evidence on both sides to say, well, we don't know. Well, someday we might, but until then, I'm going to avoid it. That's I think the most prudent thing to do on these kinds of issues. Now, you can go for yourself and get into the literature on artificial sweeteners, and you're going to see some reputable people, even the federal government, the FDA, say, they're fine. Don't worry. I respectfully disagree. Because there's enough evidence and good quality evidence to tell me that there's something amiss with the use of these chemicals to make artificial, and they don't. And by the way, there is not a convincing body of data that says if you use artificial sweeteners, you're going to lose weight. You know what? It's going to take more than that to lose weight. Losing weight is a complicated biological, physiological, psychological, sociological problem. It is perplexing. Mind you, we're bumping closer and closer to 70% of the population being overweight or obese. My land, almost 7 out of 10 people that you see walking by at random are either overweight or obese. What are we doing?
Everyone's raving about the newest botanical
superstar. The show also airs on radio coast to coast, including Hawaii, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern. Please check your local listings. We'll be right back. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. The show will return shortly. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. The show will return shortly. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. Following commercial messages, the show will return shortly. LTN streams live Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, and the LTN website. The show also airs on radio coast to coast, including Hawaii, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern. Please check your local listings. We'll be right back. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. The show will return shortly. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. The show will return shortly. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. Following commercial messages, the show will return shortly. LTN streams live Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, and the LTN website. The show also airs on radio coast to coast, including Hawaii, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern. Please check your local listings. We'll be right back. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. The show will return shortly. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. The show will return shortly. This is Dr. Michael Garko. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Nutrition. Following commercial messages, the show will return shortly. LTN streams live Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, and the LTN website. The show also airs on radio coast to coast, including Hawaii, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern. Please check your local listings. We'll be right back. Sicker, Fatter, Poor, that's a new book, talks about the chemicals in the environment that are disrupting hormone balance in humans. That theme has been a strong theme on this show for a long time. I'm glad to see that Dr. Leonardo Trasandi wrote the book. It's worth a read. Go on Amazon and look at the Look Inside feature and read a few. You can do that for free, of course. Many of you know that. And just read a few pages from the book. It'll intrigue you. We're walking around in a world that is just, people are put at peril, and we're walking around with a body burden of chemicals that having serious deleterious effects on people.
Well, this goes back to the environment that you live in and the environment that surrounds you, though, how the chemicals affect your body and your hormones and your well-being and every state of mind, yeah,
and every sense of the world, in every sense of the world, I guess. We're situated in a context of contamination, and that sounds very dramatic and hyperbolic. It is not. Even if you watch wildlife, National Geographic type films, where they show what has happened to the birds, for example, and other organisms, animals, even plants, how the chemicals affect them. And if you think for 1 nanosecond that these chemicals do not affect humans, I'm sorry. That's why I get very upset when I see the government of all entities backing off on keeping these industries honest and regulating them closer with these chemicals that they dump into the environment, into the water, into the soil, into the air. This is our home. This is our planet. This is not a dump.
Over the weekend, I met an older gentleman, probably in his early 70s, who was in Vietnam. And he was telling me, he goes, how do you explain a chemical that can kill a full-grown tree in 24 hours, not be harmful to you?
Agent Orange. Agent Orange. We still have humans walking around, those veterans that served in Vietnam, that are suffering from contamination from exposure to Agent Orange.
Yeah, we have one of the biggest VAs here in Tampa.
Yes,
the James Haley.
It's a good hospital, by the way.
It's it's partnered with USF, and that's over there is where I met him at. But he goes, how can you explain? He goes, you cannot sit here and tell me that a tree, a full-grown tree. He goes, we're talking 2 feet around, overnight, killed overnight.
Kill it.
Yep.
Again, you see, common sense. I believe in good science, but I also believe in good common sense. And the man is right. The Agent Orange, I mean, they were trying to weed, no pun intended, weed out the enemy. They weeded out the enemy, all right. So this is a real feature. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. A book, you might be interested in doing that. I've threatened many times to have a book feature on the show. I can give Gary one more thing to do, which would be to contact publishers and have them send me books to review, health books. Then I can review them and then have maybe like on a Friday or some day when I have an open day, give you my review of certain books that make you aware. Maybe I should do that for 2019 as I say it out loud. 877-8